This is MTG Burgeoning, and in this video we are going to update and upgrade the Changeling Pool to our Morophon the Boundless Changeling Tribal EDH deck. Thank you for joining us for another installment of the Up and Up series. Today we are going to make some updates and upgrades to the Changeling Pool of our Morophon the Boundless EDH Changeling Tribal deck. If you are unfamiliar with the dynamic of our Changeling deck, I encourage you to go skulking around in the description below and click the links to let yourselves become aware and enchanted by the oh-so-flavorful build of this Morophon the Boundless Changeling deck. So, what ends up happening here is we have some brand new tribal leaders that have ousted the past incumbents that were once representing the same tribe. We're going to begin with the tribal incumbent that's going to be replaced. And the first one, it is Splicer, who used to represent the Golem tribe. Here we had a 1/1 human artificer for 3 and a blue mana, and when it came into play, we created a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature tokens, and then this human artificer gave Golem creatures we control flying. Since our changelings are every single creature type, we benefited from this evasion for all of our changelings. However, a new Golem representative is going to take the reins of this tribe by easily knocking the incumbent straight out of the ballpark. The new Golem tribe representative in our Changeling Pool is Darksteel Splicer. Now, yes, the mana value is much higher here at 6 and a white mana versus the 3 and a blue mana of Splicer, but the effect and the abilities are so much more powerful. Whenever Darksteel Splicer or another non-token Phyrexian enters the battlefield under our control, we create X 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of opponents we have. So if we cast and get Darksteel Splicer into play, and we're sitting down at an EDH table with 3 opponents, right as soon as this Phyrexian artificer hits the battlefield, we're creating 3/3 colorless Phyrexian golems. And whenever any of our changelings, our non-token changelings, come into play, it will also trigger the Darksteel Splicer. That, in and of itself, is an amazingly powerful ability. But we're not done yet. We are going to replace the evasion granted by Splicer with some indestructibility provided by Darksteel Splicer, as it gives golems we control indestructible. This was a landslide decision in having Darksteel Splicer replace Splicer as the Golem tribal representative. All right, tribe number 2 that's having a change in leadership. First, the past incumbent, and that is Rott Widow Pack. Here we have a spider for 2 and Golgari colors. It's a reacher, of course, and a power and toughness of 2/4. We can pay its activation cost of 3 and Golgari colors to exile a creature card from our graveyard, and then we create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach, and then each opponent loses 1 life for each spider we control. Remember, our changelings are spiders too, so we should be able to utilize Rott Widow Pack's ability to have our opponents lose multiple points of life each time we activate it. Not the world setting on fire ability that we'd like to see from a spider tribal leader, but we no longer have to worry about Rott Widow Pack holding us back. The new spider representative, oh boy, it is another landslide decision. We have Shob, Child of Ungoliant, an 8/8 spider demon for 4 in Golgari colors. It has Death Touch and Ward 2, and it gives other spiders we control Death Touch and Ward 2 as well. Of course, Ward 2 is just hexproof for 2 generic mana, which means that if our opponents target any of our spiders with spells or abilities, those spells and abilities will be countered unless they pay 2 generic mana per spell and per ability. Just these abilities alone are enough to supplant Rott Widow Pack, but we're not done yet. Whenever another creature deals damage to... I'm sorry, let me say this again. Whenever another creature deals damage this turn... by a... Okay, gotcha. Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn, it would be nice if I could actually read every single word of the card. Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider we control dies, remember, spiders we control have death touch, so all we have to do is deal at least 1 point of damage to them. We create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food artifact with pay 2 mana, tap, sacrifice this artifact, we gain 3 life, and it loses all other card types. This can become oh so beneficial if those creatures also have any enter the battlefield or leave the battlefield abilities. They're no longer creatures, but we would still reap the benefit of those quote-unquote creatures entering and leaving the battlefield when they're created as a food token or when we tap and sacrifice them. And as an 8/8, this spider demon is going to be a a wrecking crew. It's going to be a wrecker. It's going to be like Wrecker from the Bad Batch. I mean, it's an 8/8. It's an 8/8. Let's just get it onto the battlefield and turn it sideways, all right? So anyways, Shelob is supplanting Rott Widow Pack, and that is not even a tough conversation to have. All right, the next tribe that's going to have a change in leadership. Here we have Mirror Galvanizer. It's a 2/2 mirror for 3 generic mana. It gives other mirror creatures we control +1/+1, so a modest anthem effect for all of our changelings. We can also pay a generic mana and tap Mirror Galvanizer to untap each other mirror we control. For tribal representatives, this one ranks somewhere near the bottom third. The anthem effect is okay. The ability to untap our mirror is a nice potential combat chicanery, but the new Mirror Tribal Representative is going to bring so much more power than Mirror Galvanizer could ever think to do. So what we have here, I don't even know if those words make sense together. It's just a very exciting time for the Changeling Pool. So Mirror Galvanizer, you are out. You are yielding to Urtet, Remnant of Memnarch. Here we have another mirror for 3 generic mana, and it is a 2/2, but that's where the similarities between this mirror and the other mirror cease to exist. Whenever we cast a mirror spell, we create a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token. Remember, once again, all of our changelings are mirror, so whenever we cast a changeling, we're going to create a 1/1 mirror. At the beginning of combat on our turn, we untap each mirror we control. Keep in mind that we do this during the beginning of our combat, not every combat. That's just combat on our turn. We can pay Wooburg colors, which is a white, a blue, a black, a red, and a green, and tap Urtet to put 3 +1/+1 counters on each mirror we control, and we can activate this ability only during our turn. Wow, so for 3 mana, we're getting a creature that allows us to create more creatures whenever we cast a mirror spell, which is going to be every single changeling spell. At the beginning of our combat, we can untap each mirror we control, which means we could untap Urtet after we pay Wooburg mana to put 3 +1/+1 counters on each mirror we control. We could technically activate this ability 2 times during our turn, once during our pre-combat main phase, and then again during combat or during our post-combat main phase. Yes, this Morophon deck is a 5-color deck, and we should have very little trouble paying that Wooburg mana. It is another landslide decision. Urtet is in, and the Galvanizer is so out. All right, we have one more tribe changing over leadership today. The 4th and final incumbent of this video that is losing their seat in the Changeling Pool. It is the Marar. Here we had a rat rogue for 2/3 and a mana value of 3 and 2 black mana. It gave all rats fear. So our changelings would have fear, which means they can only be blocked by black and or artifact creatures. A very, very nice form of evasion for all of our changelings. We also could tap Marar to sacrifice a rat, and then we could create X 1/1 black rat creature tokens, where X is the number of rats we control. Marar is a very powerful rat tribal leader, and it's going to take an even stronger leader to supplant Marar. I never thought it would happen, but folks, it certainly did. Marar is out as the rat tribal leader. Taking its place is Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm. Here we have a new rat. It's a 3/4 rat warlock for 3 and 1 black mana, and whenever Ashcoat attacks or blocks, other rats we control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of rats we control. Remember, our changelings are rats, and at the beginning of our end step, we may mill 4 cards. If we do, we return up to 2 rat creature cards from our graveyard to our hand. So here we have a combat boosting ability, which in this deck we can definitely look at as a win condition, plus Ashcoat provides us with some card advantage. The actual mana value is sliced a little bit here, as Marar was 3 and 2 black mana, while Ashcoat is just 3 and 1 black mana. I think of all 4 of these elections, the hardest one to call was Ashcoat over Marar, but I do think we made the right call here because Ashcoat is going to do more for our changelings than Marar could. All right, there you have it, MTG 4 brand new changes for 4 of the tribes in the Changeling Pool. Let me know your thoughts about these changes in the comment section below, and also let me know if you think there are any current tribal incumbents that may need to be challenged for their spot in the Changeling Pool. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic.